Hey guys, it's Lee, and today I am back to make the elastic version, or the elastic version? The version of the fabric pleated mask with elastic loops rather than ribbons. So you need two pieces of fabric that are 6 by 10 inches. Let me pull this up here, 6 by 10 inches across. And then you need two pieces of elastic that are 5 inches long. This is a headband that I got at the Dollar Tree that I cut because I don't have regular elastic. Flat elastic works so much better, but since I don't have it, I'm gonna be using these. My sewing machine is not a fan of sewing over these, so if you have flat elastic, it'll work a lot better. All right, just like the last one, you're going to take the piece of fabric you want on the outside of your mask. Actually, these are pretty reversible. To be honest, they're reversible. But I'm gonna start with this one, and you want it right side up. You're gonna take your elastic. You can measure this if you like. I pulled out the measuring tape, but I don't know why, because I never measure anything. And you're gonna wanna put it, sew it about 1 inch down from the top on the right side of the fabric. So I'm gonna try to do that now. This camera setup isn't the easiest, but I'll do my best. All right. Did better this time than last time. So the next step is to take that elastic, turn it just like this. Don't crisscross it, just turn it and sew it about 1 inch from the other side. Make sense? And there you have your first ear loop. All right, and now I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. So about 1 inch down-ish. Just kind of try to match it up with the other side. Then you're gonna do the exact same thing you did on the other side. So it's right here. You're just going to turn it and sew it about 1 inch from the bottom. All right, pull that out, cut all your threads, and there you have it to this point. So what you're going to do next is take your backing fabric, which I think this is really pretty. This came from the Dollar Tree, so did this actually. You're gonna take it and put it right side down so that you have your right sides together. And then you're gonna sew, you're gonna have to stretch this bottom piece out, but you're gonna sew all along the edges and leave a little bit of space here, an opening, so that you can turn the mask right side out. Line up your fabrics. You can pin them if you like. I'm too lazy. You're gonna use 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around, which is just the edge of your presser foot. I'm gonna get this going. Now I started in the middle of the long seam, or the long edge, because I don't like to end it on a corner and then have to flip it at a corner and try to get the seams. Anyway, I just like to start in the middle of the long edge. So you're going to sew all the way down to the corner. All right, I'm about 1/4 inch away. Lift your presser foot, pivot your fabric, and put your presser foot back down. Going to need to pull that bottom piece of fabric because the elastic's going to be pulling on it. And you also want to make sure you catch your elastic in this seam as well. I don't have a way, here let me try this, to pull on the fabric. There we go. It's given me a little bit of grief going over this. Elastic. Yeah, it doesn't want to go. So I'm going to have to try to pull it. All right, this is where I have to be creative. And just kind of force it. There we go. Now you want to make sure too, I should mention this, that you're not catching the rest of the elastic in the seam. So make sure that's pushed out of the way. All right, off we go. And I find it's a little easier on this side to go over the elastic because I can pull from the back. Turn and keep going. So my seam, or the beginning of my seam, is right here. I'm only going to sew a little bit farther to about there, and then backspace to close off that stitch. I don't even know what that's really called, but I'm going to cut the threads, move this out of the way for a minute, and then turn this. Sorry, I'm in a super squeaky chair. And you're going to take, I have a chopstick. In the last video I used scissors. I don't advise using scissors, but just sort of push out those corners. You know what I did? I totally forgot to snip the excess off the corners, but I'm not turning it back for that. Go watch my last video and you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to flatten it out, take it over to the ironing board. Just want to make sure these are all caught. Take it over the ironing board and iron it flat. All right, so I ironed this. I didn't show you because it's just a quick, run over it with the iron. Make sure you iron your seams down, all of your seams, and where you need to stitch, where you left the hole. Make sure you iron that so that it's easy to close that up. Just going to take my mask, and I'm going to try to do it a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch all the way around to make sure that I catch this hole, or wherever I left it, right here, and make sure it's closed completely. And just clean up all your stitches. Your loose threads. So the next step is to create the pleats. So I'm gonna pin mine, but I've heard people say don't pin it because it leaves holes. This is just how I do it. Now, you can iron it. You can create your pleats. So basically to create your pleat, you're just gonna fold down like that. I'm gonna pin this, but you could fold it down and then just iron it there. I don't know why, I just have done it this way, so I'm going to continue to do it. So far, no problems. Be careful with the pins. I've stuck myself so many times. These are super sharp, and I would recommend getting sharp pins because what I stuck myself with were some dull pins I had that I had to like force through the fabric, and then, I also forced them through my finger. Alrighty. And then you just want to make one more. And there you go. Once you have it pinned, you are going to sew a line all the way down from the top to the bottom. Make sure to remove your pins as you go. Alright, so now I'm going to cut off all the extra threads. And I'm going to take it over to the ironing board and then just iron these creases down, and I'll be right back. And there you have it. It's done. Is it perfect? No, not by any stretch of the imagination, but it does the job. Honestly, if you have a sewing machine and some fabric, you can do this too. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. You can also find me over on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and Facebook at Lee'sHome05. Thanks for watching. Bye.